Hey guys, Costa here for Oz Gamers, and this is Throwback Thursday Zombie Edition, where we are looking at zombie games because it is Zombie Week on Oz Gamers, according to head honcho Steve Farrelly. That's the decree, and so shall we follow. And so basically for this edition, I've tried to look at old games. So basically anything pre-2000 that was a zombie game, and one that also wasn't Resident Evil, because that's kind of the only one that came to mind. And turns out that there wasn't many zombie games at all. It's only just recently that there's millions upon gazillions of them. And so this is one I came across, Horizontes from the Crypt from 1990, and it is a pretty kind of just average Castlevania clone where you kind of die from getting hit once in a pretty funnily gory fashion. And it takes place in like a castle type place, and you got items, and you have the funniest jump animation. It looks like he's on a invisible pogo stick. Boing, boing. And so no matter how you die, this is how you always die. So you scream, look at the camera, and your head explodes. Alright, so to get past this dude, who's obviously a zombie, so +1 to this game for the week's theme. And hey, we got a a dagger, and this is using PC speaker. There was a better Amiga version of the game, but this is the DOS version. And so we pretty much explore. I think the goal of the game is just to kind of like Castlevania, explore the mansion, kill the bad guys. Oh, that was like a Frankenstein. Collect the skull. Use the pogo to get to whatever that was, some sort of gem. Hey, some keys are up there. And yep, obviously go down on the rising platform. So each door requires a key. And obviously, yep, so getting touched by a rat causes your head to explode. Two rats. Head explode. Only got one life left, so pretty much you have a limited number of lives. And this is kind of like part of the course for super hard games from 1990 that were either on the NES, like Castlevania, or this thing. Oh crap! Boo! Game over. Well, that didn't last long. Okay, on to game number 2, which is Samurai Zombie Nation. A crazy game from 1990, Japanese, developed for the NES, and in it we take control of a severed zombie head. Oh, I'm gonna go easy. And basically spit and throw up and fight a nation that has been overrun by zombies, and in the process destroy every single building that these Americans ever built. So you can see like you shoot fireballs, and you also kind of like spit this bile that if you aim it correctly you can hit the tanks. Crazy game. It's got zombie in the title. Apart from that, you probably could have called it anything else, and it'll be just as nutso. Whoa. The style of game is kind of like a mix between R-Type and Rampage, because you're kind of like just destroying everything and controlling the zombie head, samurai head, as a spaceship. Although, I don't know if... So the enemies are zombies, and I'm assuming that the samurai head is like a zombie head that can fly. Oh, and there he said something in Japanese. Oh no, curse my zombie head. So yeah, it's not an easy game. There are checkpoints though. It's built up into levels, and it's not so bad. The only reason why it's here is because it's actually one of the very few, if only, zombie games for the NES, the Nintendo Entertainment System, which if anybody who owned one would know that there was thousands of, well, maybe not thousands, but hundreds of games for the NES, and this was one of them. Game over again. Let's try that again. Laying waste to buildings is fun, just like in Rampage. It's the simple things. You got these people crying help, so you'd have to assume that those things aren't zombies. Like that guy there. Yeah, so I could catch him. Bonus. He wasn't a zombie, but that dude shooting has to be a zombie. Help. Saved. Oh, this is further than when I went before, I think. Or probably just the same place. Helicopters being piloted by zombies. I don't know. The zombie thing may have been like a translation when it was ported to the US. It was just changed to Samurai Zombie Nation. Which is a good name for anything. There we go. So a pretty simple game, not much to it. Any sort of shooter or platform action game from the era. This is the same year as that previous game we played, House of Zombie Corpses or whatever the hell it was called. I have to say, shooting buildings is a lot of fun. Looks like he's shooting his eyeballs out of his head too, or and he's like his dentures. That's what the other thing could be. Alright, so that's game number 2 for Zombie Week of Throwback Thursday, Samurai Zombie Nation. Okay, game number 3 is Zombies Ate My Neighbors for the Super Nintendo. And it's actually a game from LucasArts, so probably expecting the quality to go up. This is a game you can play co-op as well, so 2 players. But it's pretty much a straight action game from LucasArts, who at this time, 1993, were making pretty much a number of classic PC games. As you can see, the graphics so far is way better than the previous 2 games. And the goals are pretty simple. Zombies eating your neighbors, just like that one there. And you have to save them. And you can bring up a map to see where neighbors are, and so each level is kind of designed around you having to save X number of people, and if you don't save them in time, they actually get eaten and you move on to the next level anyway. So there is a score system as well. And there's different weapons you can pick up, like I think this is a throwing beer cans at them, or soda cans. Whoa, 3 for the price of 1. And the game is broken up into different levels, and the levels kind of just have themes. I think there's one set at a shopping mall or plaza, as it were. And there's even one like set in the pyramids. There's even like a bonus level that's set at LucasArts' office, which is kind of cool. It's going to be an easy guy on the pool needs saving. trampoline jumps. Oh, dog probably needs saving. Yep. Cheerleaders. There you go, level's done. And when level's done, basically, when everybody's saved, the exit appears, and you move on to stage 2. Level 2. Evening of the Undead. There you go, save army dudes in this one. I think that's a bazooka. Yep. There's a cool little kickback to it. If there's no blood in the game, the zombies here kind of like just explode into a fiery ball. So this is kind of like way before something like Plants vs Zombies as a, you know, family-friendly zombie game. But probably the first, one of the first family-friendly zombie things. I'm just making that up, of course, but hey, kind of sounds cool, so I'm guessing it is. Oh, no key to get in there. And yeah, so it's a pretty good game. Not as good as some of other LucasArts. The other console efforts around about the same time, or maybe before this, were the Super Star Wars series for the Super Nintendo. And they were really good. This is not so bad as well, but it's not classic. It's not LucasArts classic. But it's pretty good, and it's the kind of the best game so far. And now we'll probably move on to the next one. And as they say, you save the best for last. Okay, and last on the list we have Isle of the Dead. Not the most best looking start screens, putting you straight into options, but apparently that's how the game starts. And this is a game from the same time as Zombies Ate My Neighbors, and 1993. It's a first-person shooter/adventure game, and as you can see, the graphics are extremely dated, even by first-person shooter standards. And so the way you pick up items, you have to actually pick up items, so it's kind of like an adventure game. And that massive thing there that we picked up was a small medkit. And this brown mess, you kind of have to check. I mean, the medkit obviously makes sense, but everything else that you pick up, you kind of have to check in the inventory just to see what it is. Found some smokes and a lighter in the jacket. And that was apparently a jacket. And this is the plane crash that we crashed in onto this zombie-infested island. Oh, and this is where it changes into like a point and click. So you can survey the scene, this gruesome scene of grisliness. And hey, there's something over there. I'll need this. It doesn't even say what it is. Pick up the machete. So there it is, our first weapon. Obviously we can pick this up. Yep, wire cutters. What's that thing? Pick up the book. It's the book. Most likely the Bible then. That flare gun. It's a compass thing. Stuck. But we can use our wire cutters. Free the compass. Fairly straightforward first puzzle. And that's pretty much where it leaves you. Now you may be thinking, we can use equip the old machete. The world's fastest machete swing. You can barely see it. You think, okay, now we've got that, what do we do? Well, we can pick up some coconuts for sustenance. Say we can survive on this island. Walk around, pick up some coconuts, and those are shotgun shells. Yes, I've played this before and checked in the inventory to see what they were. And it's like, okay, I'm stuck, there's nowhere to go. There's nowhere to go. And there's a jungle over here. So what you have to go is you have to cut your way through the jungle, and different patch of textures where you can get through. Here we go. And now the game, we're gonna die now, so we'll just we just get swamped by zombies. And then there's an evil doctor. And then basically start again. It's not a very good game. It's overly difficult and clumsy. You kind of just get ambushed and you don't know why you die, or with no warning usually. And the graphics are absolutely terrible. They've dated poorly. I mean, look, this is just taking a look at the plane crash. Obviously, this is about the time of Wolfenstein, but even Wolfenstein knew that to have a plane crash plane amongst the jungle could, you know, it can look better than that. Yeah, so it's pretty terrible. And so yeah, that's it for this week's edition of Throwback Thursday Zombie Edition, where we played a whole bunch of old zombie games because they didn't really exist, and finding them, these old zombie games, not very great. The LucasArts one's pretty good. The Samurai Zombie one is just fun because it's so crazy, but there really isn't much. But if you know of any, yeah, definitely let me know.